Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, June the 10th, and we're here to look at the new releases published this week in mysteries. Today we start with the crime fiction thrillers, the darker side, and then we'll move on to the rest of the cozy mysteries that we started to look at on Monday. Quick announcements. I don't do any sprints tonight. Our next ones are tomorrow night, Thursday night, at 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't suppose it matters what order we do these in, so we'll stay this way. And there's only 7. The 40-Year Grudge by Liza Tully, second in the Merritt and Blunt mysteries. It looks cozy. It's here because this is about, one of them is a private investigator. And again, if you're a professional, it goes on Wednesdays. It's been 4 decades since the women of Sigma Delta Tau were last together. The passing years, growing families, and maturing careers may have strained the bonds of sisterhood, but now a reunion at the western ranch of one member offers an opportunity to renew acquaintances and at least one long-standing grudge. Still, this weekend is supposed to be a pleasant diversion for former sorority member and current private investigator Aubrey Merritt. She's come to New Mexico to reconnect with old friends, and she's brought along her personal assistant, Olivia Blunt, an aspiring detective who is learning more about packing bags on this trip than about solving crimes. The shocking murder of a sorority sister changes everything. With the local police overmatched, all eyes turn to Merritt and Blunt to crack the case. With a surprising abundance of suspects, it's going to take both of them to cut through the knot of old hurts and current grievances to find the killer. Good morning, Mary. How are you doing? A few sprinkles from heaven this morning. Oh, nice. Hoping it will do more than it has so far. Indeed. We've supposed to have had some storms yesterday. Nothing really came of it. We just need a good soak. The Breakup Retreat by Camilla Sten. Isabel Anderson has heard rumors. Nestled deep in the Swedish woods, there is a retreat, primarily aimed at helping women who have gone through devastating breakups. The Himlafall Clinic is meant to heal your mind and help you move on. Sometimes people are never heard from again. Armed with a fake story and a contraband phone to record interviews, Isabel is ready to expose Himlafall's founder and get closure for the families of missing loved ones. When she gets there, nothing goes to plan. Her contact is missing. The founder, Dr. Martina Hastings, knows how to get under Isabel's skin in ways she didn't anticipate, and all the while the ghosts of the missing haunt her at every turn. It is clear something is going wrong, and Himlafall, it says and Isabel must uncover the truth before she disappears once and for all. Strangers Behind Closed Doors by Catherine Adele West. Giovanni Mason worked hard to become the first black head concierge at Chicago's exclusive and glamorous Ivory Hotel. It's a job that requires patience, perfection, and above all, self-control. But when Giovanni reunites with her former best friend, makeup influencer Natalie Moore, things get heated as amending offenses morphs into a public argument in the hotel restaurant, and Giovanni loses her cool. Hours later, Natalie is missing. Evidence piles against Giovanni, a ransacked, blood-spattered hotel room, fresh bruises on her body, and a troubling gap in her memory from the last 12 hours. Detective Redding Stark is the only one unconvinced of Giovanni's guilt. She sees disturbing parallels to a series of disappearances targeting black women and believes Natalie's case is part of something bigger. Together, she and Giovanni are pulled into a dangerous web of privilege, power, and betrayal inside and far beyond the walls of the Ivory Hotel. Will Giovanni and Detective Stark find Natalie or join the missing? Just boy, really slim pickings in the thriller category today. Indeed. 7. Heather by Caitlin Mullen. 1990. In The myth-riddled woods of the New Jersey Pine Barrens, 16-year-old Annabelle Riley's twin sister Sabrina has been having an affair with a mysterious older man. Annabelle is determined to uncover what's going on. Then, inexplicably, both sisters disappear. In this same town years later, newly instated police chief Callie Hauser makes an arrest that unexpectedly resurrects details from a heartbreaking cold case. As she digs deeper, the past and the present collide, challenging everything Callie believes about right and wrong, who she is, and the town she's always called home. End of that road. This is clever marketing, calling the book itself Beach Thriller. Beach Thriller by Jamie Day. Holly Sinclair, a struggling author, is dead broke. After being evicted from her New York apartment, she returns to her family's dilapidated beach house in coastal New England with one urgent goal: write a book that sells fast. Reinventing herself won't be easy, but the old seaside town offers a few unexpected allies. Gail, a driven local realtor, introduces her to a charming handyman who can help her get back on her feet. Serena, the town's psychic, offers encouragement and an unsettling warning about danger ahead. And Jade, a teen runaway, is hiding out in Holly's attic and desperately needs a safe place to land. Holly takes Jade in, and soon the girl finds work with the powerful Carmichael family. Their dynasty has faded, but their connection to Holly's past is darker excuse me, than she wants to remember. Their secrets could put both women at risk. Not everyone is glad to see Holly return. Someone in town is watching her every move. The watcher knows something Holly doesn't. The past may be a foggy echo, but it's close enough to come rushing in with the tide. Excuse me. And another good title, based on a true story, is The Title, by Sarah Vaughan. Mary says, you know that 1990, I know, I was thinking that. Seems like it was yesterday, but in reality, it's more than 30 years ago. My mental clock needs to be wound up. Absolutely. And for a couple generations now at this point, that's ancient history. It's a historical. Bother. Let's see. All families have secrets, but it's the lies that can kill. That can kill, yes. A lavish 70th birthday party, a body found on a storm-lashed beach, and a secret that someone is dying to tell. Famed children's author Dame Eleanor Kingman has summoned her family and friends to her exquisite manor house on the cliffs. They're celebrating her birthday and her latest #1 bestseller in her series of books based on a mother fox and her cubs. But the night before the party, Eleanor receives an email that threatens to expose the lie she's kept up for over half a century. Someone knows her secret. Is it her estranged literary agent? Is it her ex-husband to whom she no longer speaks? Is it the nanny she fired all those years ago who always did have a knack for storytelling? Or is it one of her 3 daughters, all of whom have a stake in the publishing empire she has built? With a television crew arriving to film a documentary of her life, Eleanor needs to find out who sent the email and preserve her legacy and multi-million-pound career. And when push comes to shove and it's time to tell the truth, will anyone actually believe her? That reminds me, I finished a book yesterday where the main character's mother had a mild heart attack, and she's in her early 60s. And it made this person realize, who's in her 30s and not young, but realize that, her mom could die soon. Seriously, she's in her 60s. Get over yourself. The Man Who Led a Dream Life by David Handler, 17th in the Stuart Hogue Mysteries. January 1983. Stuart Hoagie Hogue is getting married to the love of his life, Marilee, at New York City Hall. Hoagie's college chum, Ezra Spooner, stands up for him. Marilee's lovely cousin, Phoebe, stands up for her. And their young basset hound, Lulu, stands up for both of them. Oh. After they say I do and pop open the Dom Perignon, Phoebe somberly announces that she and her husband, the legendary adventurer and old money multimillionaire Junior Singleton, are now officially divorced. Junior leads what most men would consider a dream life. He has climbed Mount Everest twice, captained his yacht to an America Cup victory, raced Formula One Ferraris in Europe, surfed the most dangerous Maui waves, and slept with as many women as he chose to, despite being married to sweet and gentle Phoebe, who works as a music teacher and plays violin in a chamber music quartet. The pair could not be more different, and most of their friends predicted the marriage would last. They were right. Phoebe is done putting up with Junior's constant absence and compulsive philandering. She's not even asking for much of his fortune in the divorce, just $1 million and their gorgeous townhouse in the East 60s, which she intends to sell. In fact, she'd love to sell it to Hoagie and Merrily. The newlyweds agree to tour the home and find that it's almost exactly what they're looking for. There's a fabulous gourmet kitchen, a paneled office where Hoagie can write, a garden where Lulu can romp, a luxurious master suite with his and hers dressing rooms. The only drawback, and it's a mighty big one, is that they find Junior dead on the floor of his dressing room with a rosewood-handled Claude Désormais steak knife plunged into his left eyeball. Who would want to kill Junior Singleton? Plenty of people, as it turns out. Junior's autopsy reveals that he was HIV positive, which means any of the women with whom he had unprotected sex have been exposed to the deadly AIDS virus, including the hotshot realtor Sienna Bing, who was supposed to be helping them sell the house. And that's just the start of the suspect list, as the NYPD's top homicide lieutenant Mayor Goldwyn pursues the case. He finds it unfolding in several different directions, and Hoagie, who possesses not only amazing insights into the criminal mind, but also a gifted short-legged partner, gets drawn deeper and deeper into the fascinating, utterly bizarre world of New York City's elite. That was a whole lot of words. They could have condensed that down quite a lot. All right, that is the end of the thrillers and crime fiction for this week. No, there weren't that many. So we're going to finish up with the cozies, because there were only 6 of those left as well. And then we just won't have a show on Friday. We were here. Spells and Suspicions by Paula Lester, 5th in the Brightstone Bay Cozy Witch Mysteries. Mabel Winterbourne didn't ask to become Brightstone Bay's first magical hospitality liaison. Solstice did. Solstice has opinions. She didn't ask to plan a candidate's mixer that turned into a crime scene either, and she absolutely didn't ask to spend her week interrogating a journalist with too much cash, a businesswoman with too much to lose, a research assistant with too much grief, a retired judge with too much pride, and a campaign manager who's just a little too perfect. But somebody poisoned a candidate in front of half the town, and somebody's going to answer for it. If Mabel can identify the killer before the wrong person fills Clem's old council seat, she might just save Brightstone Bay from another political disaster. If she can't, well, at least the show tune singing permits won't be her problem anymore. Fireworks, Food Trucks, and Foul Play by Jennifer Lynn Roche. 7th in the Redbury Junction series. While the fireworks exploded in the night sky over the town of Redbury Junction, the smoke left behind allowed a crime to be hidden. Earlier in the day, during the Redbury Junction 4th of July celebration, Rory and Daisy befriended Samantha Wonder, the owner of the food truck called Between the Slices. The 3 women hit it off immediately and make plans to get together in the evening to watch the fireworks show. Only Sam fails to show up. Rory is curious as to why Sam never joined them, but wasn't too concerned. That is until the next day, when Sam's truck is found on Main Street, ransacked, with Sam nowhere to be found. When Detective Renfield and Deputy Sheila explore the crime scene, they find a poem in the truck with the person they believe took Sam. Rory and Daisy join Detective Renfield and Deputy Sheila, along with Detectives Bird and Identity of Wood Tower Delilah, I don't know what that means, and private investigator Whitman, to form a bigger group to search nearby towns for Sam. When Carrie, Sam's best friend, shows up at the Redbury Junction police station, she helps shed more light on what might have happened to Sam. Armed with this new information, Detective Renfield splits their large group into smaller ones. Detectives Renfield and Identity, along with Delilah and Deputy Sheila, are about to leave the station to search for Sam when a call comes in that there has been a murder in the whimsical cafe. Rory, Daisy, Detective Bird, and Private Detective Whitman set out to inspect the murder that occurred in, can't you just say they? Can both groups solve their crimes? Are the 2 crimes linked in any way? The group members will have to employ all their investigative skills if they want to simultaneously solve both incidents. Again, could have been condensed. Well, there's a red cover. Good morning, Amy. How you doing? Mary says, hi, Amy. Happy Wednesday. We have just finished all the thrillers, only 7 today, and finished the cozy, so no Friday show. Thank you. Yes. Because there weren't that many of them either. Not like last week. Death of a Proper Bostonian by Anne Louise Bannon, 6th in the Old Los Angeles series. It's August 1873, and at long last, physician and winemaker Mattie Franklin Wilcox makes the journey home to her beloved native Boston. Her business is to deliver her ward and apprentice, Elena Ortiz, to the local women's medical school, and that also includes visiting her father, her sister, and her family. But at a dinner with the family of Mattie's late and very much unlamented, at least on her part, husband, young John Wilcox, a cousin there to entertain the guests with his natural talk is shot. Nature talk is shot. Then the next morning, the eldest of the Wilcox brothers is found shot in his bed. Mattie quickly concludes that the shooting of the oh-so-charming naturalist was but a distraction for the shooting of her former brother-in-law. Chased by a corrupt Boston police officer, confronted again and again by the relentless prejudice of the city's medical practitioners, and in danger of losing her heart to young John Wilcox, who had plenty of reasons to want his cousin dead, Mattie's happy homecoming becomes a morass of suspicion with someone willing to kill her and the people she loves. Poppy Montgomery Gets Even by Gordon Jack. 80-year-old Poppy Montgomery has always taken a negative view of her life. Her father, a bully. Her husband's losers. Her daughter and grandson, well, they're probably her fault. And now the police have taken away her license. Her daughter wants to put her in a retirement home, and the bossy new fitter-than-thou attendee at water aerobics is taking over her favorite class. But enough is enough, and when her new friend Ginny is scammed on a dating site for seniors, Poppy decides it's time to finally get even. With the help of Jeremy, her tech-savvy grandson, Poppy launches a vindictive little caper, scamming the scammers that prey on the elderly online. But when two women at Ginny's retirement home seemingly meet unnatural ends, and her newest target is implicated in the murder, suddenly Poppy's fun online con job becomes a matter of life or death. It's going to take the whole gang, Poppy's 2 new best friends, her in-recovery daughter, and her basement-dwelling grandson, to pull off one last job, before one of them becomes the next victim. End of that row. June's First Murder by Marianne Jordan, 1st in the Meadowlark Creek Mysteries. Nothing ever happens in Meadowlark Creek, at least that's what retired librarian June Higgins has always believed. When a well-known local man is found dead on a park bench during the town's beloved 1st of June festivals, everyone assumes his death was natural, everyone except June. With the help of her granddaughter, Sarah Lee, a high school teacher with a knack for asking questions, and their mischievous pets, Pippi and Mr. Smee, June begins digging into the victim's final days. What starts as simple curiosity quickly turns into a full-fledged murder investigation. As secrets surface beneath the charm of their small southern town, June discovers that someone in Meadowlark Creek has plenty to hide and will do almost anything to keep the truth buried. Last one. I looked up how to pronounce this. Killer Kafabi. Everything's pronounced there. By Randy Green. Zoe Wilde's former friend from high school, Chester has recently returned to Linville after a 12-year hiatus and is working as an artist at 3 Count Tattoos. The day after a heated confrontation with another former classmate, Chester fails to show up for work. Worried about Chester's already precarious mental state, Zoe goes by his place to check on him. She finds Chester lying in a pool of blood following a vicious assault. Since she knew Chester years ago and currently worked with him daily, Zoe gets caught up in helping Detective Tyler Gates with the murder investigation. As she delves more into Chester's life, Zoe finds that his homecoming was not as closely guarded a secret as she previously thought. Several of their former classmates were aware that Chester was back, because Chester knew some of their darkest secrets and wasn't above taunting them with the knowledge. They all had motive to kill him. The question is, who was so desperate to protect their secrets that they were willing to kill? Determined to uncover the truth, Zoe puts her own life on the line as she works to pin down Chester's killer for the 3 count. So, Kfabi is, if you see on the cover, it looks like a wrestling ring. That's what that is, refers to. It's that wrestling ring. I learned that when looking up how to pronounce it, and then I promptly forgot how to pronounce it. But that is it. See, there weren't that many. There were 26 in cozies and 7 in the darker side. So kind of a meh week, but maybe there was something there to catch your attention. Amy says, oh, I'll have to go back and watch from the beginning. Yeah, there's only 7. There's only 7 of them. Well, hopefully next week will be better. So yeah, that is it for today. This week. So as Mary mentioned, there won't be a show then on Friday. Everybody gets to sleep in or be up and then go back to bed. And then our next sprints are tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday night, and then again on Saturday afternoon, as usual. Mary says, never have seen or heard that word before. Thanks for the definition. Yeah, I looking up how to pronounce it. I think it's Kfabe. That's what that means. Amy said, wow, they really did have a lot less cozies and crime thrillers this week. I know, and then like the week before there was over 50. I think publishers need to get together. Have a good day, everyone. Well, back at you, baby. Thank you, guys. Have a good Wednesday. Hopefully places are going to get rain and not, tornadoes and bad things, but I think a lot of places need some rain at this point. Read good books, be safe, and Mary says, thanks so much. Hope you and Amy have a great rest of the week and weekend. Well, back at you, baby. You got anything going on? I did finish a book this week that was very interesting. So we are in June, which is the Bookeemonsters Midsummer Hist Mist, and a book I read is a historical mystery. I would say mystery thriller, maybe. It's called The Art of a Lie by Laura Shepard Robinson, or Robinson Shepard. I think it's Shepard Robinson. And I thought it was going to be a straightforward historical mystery. It's set in the 1760s England, which is one of my favorite eras. But pretty early on, the twists started, and there were many. I had some jaw-dropping twists that I was like, oh, what the heck happened here? So I do recommend it, The Art of a Lie by Laura Shepard Robinson, if you want to check it out. All right. Mary says, a show on Saturday. Ooh, and behind is always need to make a lot more stuff, but can't seem to get my motor going. Mary, come to our sprints tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You'll have 2 hours of working on something, and then, well, Saturday's probably when your show is, but sprints help you be productive. I often crochet during it. Keeps me on schedule. Not just for reading, but otherwise. Just, set yourself a goal every day. You can do it, and you probably have it more than you think. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Have a good day, and God bless.